Hey everybody, and welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League. This is our Sunday evening championship. We're with the League One guys, and I do actually race in this one. If you missed last week, excuse me, I do actually race in this one, but I will be referring to myself from third person view, if that makes sense. Excuse me. Great way to start the stream, eh? My choking to death. We are at Laguna Seca in California, USA, but a little bit more about that in a minute. Now, I've mentioned our sponsors, Eldridge Air Conditioning, and we did receive some very sad news this week that the Eldridge Air Conditioning and for that matter, the Ultimate Racing League mascot, Poppy the dog, sadly passed away at the end of this week. So, yeah, some really devastating news for the Eldridge family, and sad news for the rest of us. And for those that have pets, you will know exactly how tough this can be. So Harry Poppins is not racing today. He's yet to make an appearance. It's holiday last week and then come back to, as I say, this really sad news. So Harry Poppins not racing today, but he will be back next week. So obviously our thoughts go out to the family, and yeah, that comes from everybody in the Ultimate Racing League. Onwards to the race then. As I've mentioned, we are at Laguna Seca for this is round 2. We were at Deep Forest. Let me just check. We were at Deep Forest. It's been a week since. We were at Deep Forest last week. We're at Laguna Seca for this week for round 2. 2.3 miles, 11 turns. This one famous for the corkscrew, really. It's well, we'll come on to that in a bit, shall we? Well, if you don't know what I'm on about, then you're in for a bit of a surprise. We will get a look at that one later on in the race. So let's have a look at the grid, shall we? This is after 10 minutes of qualifying. We've got 2 races for you today, both 19 laps. The first one is an out-and-out sprint race, so the tyre and fuel wear is quite low. So hopefully the guys can get round without a pit stop. Second race, it is a change of tyres and fuel will be required. And although I raced in this one, I can't even remember what the tyres were, so we'll see when we get there. I've slept since. It's been a bad few days. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Let's have a look at the grid, shall we? And Scott's got himself on pole yet again. This is obviously going to be, I think, the pattern of the season, to be honest. Scott either on pole or there and thereabouts, but yeah, well done to him. Scott on pole position. Grasshopper tucked in just behind him in second. Wayne G is third. Seamus in fourth. Slowpoke in fifth. Brownie in sixth. Hodgie 7th. Hoggy is 8th. Bloomfield is 9th. Flatby 10th. Stealth is 11th. Grahamid 12th. Sideways George is 13th. And Rufus bringing up the rear in 14th. So 14 out of 16 on the grid is not a bad turnout. As I say, unfortunately Harry Poppins is not here because of the sad news they had this week. And also another one who's not made an appearance yet is James Stevens. I think he's been off on his jollies, and hopefully he will be back next week as well. But in the meantime, losing points. So yes, a couple of quick guys still to return to this one. But while they're not here, the rest of us can try and get some points on the board. So we'll get out of this one. We'll get this one started, shall we? Now I'm going to go and have a look at the back, because Rufus at the back and maybe even Grahamid will have to start this race before they actually get around turn 11, and it's a tough one. So yeah. They're off and running as Scott takes us down towards turn 2. Now turn 1 is just a bit of a kink in the road further up. So Scott goes into turn 2 then around Andretti hairpin, leading this trail of Mustangs around this very tricky course. It's probably down there in my bottom 3 most hated course because of all the sand that surrounds it, and the slightest mistake and your race is over. The sausage curbs are an absolute nightmare, and if you capture them, it will throw the car all over the place, and as I say, you've got sand and kitty litter all over the place. As we come up the hill then, through a little kink in the road, not really counted as a corner, as Seamus Cass, oh, he's gone too far wide. Let's just have a look and see what happened to Seamus. And this is that little kink in the road. It's not actually counted as a corner, and it is between 6 and 7, but poor old Seamus Cash off, but back onto track, but he's just waiting for the rest of the field to go through. In fact, you know what, we're going to stay with Seamus as we have a bit of a slowed down look at the corkscrew. Oh no, he's got a reset. What a shame for Seamus, but we'll stay with him just to show you this corkscrew. Now then, it is an 18-metre drop. That's 59 feet drop from this point here down to this point here. So you can see how scary it is, especially when you're trying to go through there at the speeds these guys do. So poor old Seamus then, well, got a battle on his hands now. You see the gap that's opened up. Scott out in front though, around Andretti hairpin for the second time, trying to open up a bit of a gap back to Grasshopper. Grasshopper fighting Wayne G off. All of the guys are on the racing soft tyres, and these three already looking to pull away from the rest of the pack. Slowpoke into fourth, already gained a space after Seamus has gone off. So Slowpoke now up into fourth, although he's got Brownie chasing him down. Then we've got Hodgie in sixth. Hoggy. Oh, them two need to be separated, don't we? I can't have Hodgie and Hoggy. Hoggy in seventh. Bloomfield in eighth. Flat B, Stealth, Grahamid, Sideways, Rufus, and poor old Seamus down at the back. So yeah, as the top three start to disappear, you can just see Brownie making a move on Slowpoke. Let's have a look at that again, because we did kind of miss it. So Brownie then, we're coming up the hill towards this, we'll call it 6A, shall we, on the Royal Straight. Slowpoke doesn't get the best of exits out of there, and Brownie sees the opportunity to go up the inside. A bit of late braking from Brownie, and unfortunately he's gone off now. Then there might have been the slightest tap there from Slowpoke. I'm not really sure. It was very difficult to tell from that angle, and we'll have a look from Slowpoke's point of view. Not really going to dwell on it, because obviously it's me, but if I have caused a problem, then I'm going to have to apologise. I didn't think contact was made, but if it was, then yeah, I will hold my hands up and apologise. You can just see Brownie there coming up on the inside. Was a bit of late braking. Well, you know what, I think there might have been a bit of contact there, and if there was, I can only put my hands up in the air and say I'm really sorry to for Brownie for that one, but there we go. I'll make up for it anyway by going across the kitty litter, and Brownie and everybody else goes through anyway. So Bloomfield in eighth then, trying to put Slowpoke under all sorts of problems. The Flat B in ninth, just behind him. So getting a bit bunched up now mid-pack, as everybody getting a slipstream there. You can see Bloomfield, well, he was in the slipstream of Slowpoke, now he's back in again as they come down towards turn 2. This double left-hander that is Andretti hairpin, trying to give each other a bit of room, and it looks like Bloomfield has got the job done and moves up into P7, Slowpoke into P8, although he is fighting back into turn 3, but Bloomfield's managed to hold on to that spot. Flat B in ninth, he's now got Slowpoke eyeing up, so he's going to have a pop at him as well. Stealth in 10th, Grahamid in 11th. Bit of a gap between Stealth and Grahamid. Same with Sideways George down in 12th. Then we've got Rufus in 13th, with Seamus Cash still in 14th, a long way off the pack, but he's going to keep going. You never know. Now then, if you look at the top right, you can see that the three guys at the front, Scott, Grasshopper and Wayne G, have opened up quite a gap actually, back to Hodgie, who's sitting in 4th. He's just come down the corkscrew now. So Hodgie having a good race so far in these opening laps, holding on to 4th. Brownie in 5th. Then we've got Hoggy in 6th, Bloomfield in 7th, Slowpoke in 8th, although Flat B wants a piece of that, doesn't he? Flat B, let's jump on board with Flat B, shall we, as we go across the start finish line to start lap 4. Now then, we go down the hill through turn 1, heads towards turn 2, and it's this double left-hander, trying to avoid them sausage curves. As I say, they really are brutal when you hit them. Quick look behind us and we can see Stealth chasing us down around turn 3. Again, trying to avoid the sand out there on the left. getting on the power as early as you can, but you do not want to be pushing these cars too far wide, because as we've seen with Seamus, as soon as you go out onto that stuff, your car is a goner. So Stealth chasing Flat B up the hill, then through turn 6A, we're going to call it, aren't we, on the roll straight, and then up towards the corkscrew. Now we're going to stay with Flat B as we enter the corkscrew through turn 7 and 8, down the other side into turn 9 onto Rains Curve, sweeping left-hander, still going downhill into turn 10. Again, a quick look behind us and Stealth catching up all the way. Then into the final turn, this very sharp left-hander at turn 11, onto the straight then. 325 metre dash across the start-finish line and into turn 1. And Flat B just completing his 4th lap. Stealth sitting there in 10th. It doesn't look like the livery's come through. And that is probably my internet. The internet's been playing up something rotten just lately. So I apologise for that. I did check as well, actually. I did have a look at all the cars before we actually started the race, and they were all there. As soon as I start recording, it disappears. You've seen Graham getting a little bit squirrely there as he came out of turn 3, but managed to keep it on the tarmac. Now a bit of a battle up ahead as Flat B comes under attack from Stealth, but Flat B holding on to that 9th position. Stealth still in 10th as they go up the hill, but Stealth definitely in the slipstream. Not that it really helps around this track, excuse me, because you just, as soon as you seem to catch somebody up, there's a corner in the way, and the corkscrew is not the place to be making a challenge. Mohammed sitting in 11th, Sideways in 12th, Rufus 13th, with Seamus still down in 14th, but it does look like he's catching, actually. It does look like his hard work starting to pay off. We can see the fastest lap at the minute is with Scott, a 1:23.1, and Seamus has been putting in 1:24s, so he is only 1 second off of the fastest lap, so definitely catching is Seamus. Scott, well, he's just had it away on his toes, hasn't he? If we're just looking in the background, we're trying to see where Grasshopper is, and he's nowhere to be seen. That is quite a gap, actually, that Scott has opened up, and we are only on lap 6. So he really is not messing about, is he? Grasshopper in second at the minute. He's coming under a lot of attention from Wayne G. These guys, these guys, I think, are going to be setting the pace for the rest of the season, to be honest. Grasshopper and Wayne G just sitting behind Scott, and I think that's probably going to be the story of the season, as I say. Hodgie doing a fantastic job so far in 4th, although Brownie's having a bit of a look at him as they go through turn 6, start the climb up the hill towards the corkscrew. Hodgie just ahead of Brownie. All very sensible so far. There's Hoggy getting some attention from Bloomfield. Slowpoke in 8th with Flat B just behind it in 9th. Well, I've got a penalty then. Stealth in 10th. So these guys mid-pack really still quite close to each other, to be honest. The slightest of mistakes and you're going to lose 2 or 3 positions. Mohammed still in there in 11th, and we've got Sideways in 12th, Rufus 13th with Seamus still down in 14th. Scott, well, he's long gone, isn't he? We're not going to see him again. Grasshopper and Wayne G still battling it out for P2. Now let's just have a look at the tyre situation. Both of these guys remarkably good at looking after their tyres. So it is going to be an interesting battle between these two to see who sits where on the podium. I don't think there's any danger of anybody else joining them up there, or challenging them, should I say. So it is just which step are they going to be stood on. At the minute, Wayne G is sitting on the lower of the 3. But he'll push Grasshopper to try and change that as they enter the corkscrew for the 7th time. Hodgie still in P4 at the minute for Team Texaco. Coming under a lot of attention though from Brownie. And we're just going to follow them around turn 9 onto Range Curve, or through Range Curve, sorry, into turn 10. And then heading towards this final shot, left-hander, and Brownie getting very close, up close and personal with Hodgie as he looks to the inside. Now then, as Brownie got the run on him, it is side by side as they go through turn one. Hodgie just keeping his nose in front, but Brownie has got the inside line as they come into turn two at Andretti hairpin. Brownie managed to get his nose in front, but a great manoeuvre from Hodgie to get the old switcheroo done. And brilliant racing from Hodgie and Brownie there to not make contact. Hodgie comes out on top and in P4 again as the lead chopped and changed there just for that split second. But Hodgie just managing to hold on to P4. Brownie still there in P5, sticking to him all the way. Hodgie, he's sitting in P6. He'll be pleased if those two ahead of him keep battling. We've got Bloomfield just sitting behind Hodgie. Excuse me. As they go up the hill towards 6A, we're calling it now, on the Rahul Straight, and then up towards the corkscrew. Hodgie taking a little wider line there, so maybe he just got that 6A a bit wrong. And now Bloomfield right on the bumper of Hodgie. We'll jump on board with Bloomfield as we go around Rains curve at turn 9. Now then, Bloomfield trying to go around the outside, but no room there. Now then, as he got the old switchback, he is on the outside, so Hodgie got the better line on the inside, but Bloomfield again trying the switchback, trying to get the decent exit, but Hodgie got the power down very early and has managed to hold on to P6. And we can just see up ahead, Brownie has managed to get his nose in front of Hodgie as they hit turn 2 again, but Hodgie doing the same thing again. Oh, Brownie's just shut the door on him there. Hodgie was trying to do the old switcheroo thing again as they go into turn 3, but Brownie was wise to it this time and has managed to hold on to P4. So Brownie up into P4, Hodgie into P5, Hodgie in P6, with Bloomfield chasing him in P7, and Bloomfield has not finished yet either, has he? He wants to have a piece of that, move up into P6. Maybe he fancies his chances of getting involved in the battle up ahead. But while these are all battling, Slowpoke is trying to catch up, but he's towing a group of cars behind him, and they are all over the back of him, and that's Stealth in 9th, Flatby in 10th, Grahamid in 11th. A great battle between these four as they come up towards the corkscrew. Lost where I was then. Flatby got a fantastic exit out of there, didn't he? Slowpoke struggling, but still holding on to 8th as they go around turn 9 up towards turn 10. Flatby gets himself on the inside of Slowpoke and moves up into P8. Stealth with a half a second penalty in P10. Slowpoke down to 9th now. Not the best of races for him. Stealth in 10th, he's going to have to serve that penalty. It looks like he's going to be serving it on the next lap, so maybe looking to try and gain a place before he hits that penalty zone. Grahamid in 11th, all over the back of Stealth, putting him under all sorts of pressure. Grahamid went very wide then, trying to make that turn 2 as open as he can. I'm surprised he didn't go. Oh, as Grahamid gets it. Oh, he's gone. That was a big old spin from Grahamid. Let's have another look at that now. I don't really want to add to his misery, but that was a spectacular spin. Now he's in the slipstream of Stealth as we come down towards turn 2. He seems to go very, very wide there. May have picked up a few marbles onto the tyres, and then as he tries to get the power down, the back end just decides it's not having any of that. And although he tried to hold on to it, it wasn't having it, was it, that Mustang? And that's knocked him all the way down to 14th. That's really unlucky for Grahamid. It was great battling up to that point. So if we go back up to where we were before, so Slowpoke in 9th. Flatby has got by, and he's now chasing after Bloomfield. Slowpoke in 9th with Stealth in 10th. He'll soon to be served that penalty. Then we've got Sideways George in 11th, so Sideways should take that 10th away from Stealth, unless he can get it done now as they move up towards the corkscrew. Sideways on the inside, just gets his nose in front before they get to the corkscrew. So now it is the two Team Haribo guys in 9th and 10th. Stealth sitting in 11th, but he's got a penalty to serve. Rufus just sitting there behind Stealth, sniffing around his back end, waiting for him to serve that penalty as soon as they get around turn 11, and then Rufus can push on and take P11 away from Stealth. So we'll just stay with Rufus as Stealth serves that penalty. Brakes on. Oh, and Rufus nearly ran into the back of Stealth there, but gets the job done and moves up into 11th, so Stealth down to 12th, with Seamus up into 13th now, with Grahamid down in 14th after that spin he had at turn 2. Back up to the front though, and Scott, well, it's almost like a practice day for him. He must get bored being that far in front. I mean, fantastic racing, consistent laps. He's got the fastest lap, a 1:22.9, which he got on lap 6. He's been in the 23s mostly for every lap after that, but I mean, obviously that's a quick enough lap time to keep him in front. Grasshopper still holding on to P2, so we are as we started the race. Scott was on pole, followed by Grasshopper and Wayne G, and we're still there. No change for these guys up at the front, but a big gap. Then back to Brownie sitting in 4th, who's managed to get himself a car length or 2 between himself and Hodgie. Hodgie though really pushing now. It's this is what we like to see from Hodgie. Didn't have the greatest of starts last week. Last season seemed to struggle really, but he's come back strong this time around. So this is what we're used to seeing from him, holding on to 5th at the minute and having a good old battle with Brownie. Bloomfield in 6th then, with Holgi in 7th. These two fighting it away now. I'm not sure if they've swapped positions. They may well have done actually, and I apologise if we missed that, but Bloomfield in 6th with Hoggy in 7th. Those two have been fighting all the way from the start. Flat B in 8th with Slowpoke in 9th, Sideways in 10th, Rufus in 11th. Now Rufus has really started to put the pressure on now onto Sideways, so a good couple of laps for Rufus. He's steady, very consistent in the 24s, and that's what gets you up through the grid, being consistent. I keep being told on many occasions, you just stay consistent, and that's exactly what Rufus has done, and that has put him right onto the bumper of Sideways, just ahead of him in P10. As we go up through the corkscrew for the 12th time then, so all 7 laps to go, including this one. Seamus, oh now then, I thought Rufus picked up a penalty then. Seamus in 12th, Stealth in 13th with Grahamid in 14th, so Stealth must have had a bit of an issue. Oh no, he served his penalty, didn't he? He may have had another issue actually, which has put him down to 13th, and poor Grahamid after his spin, he's now down in 14th. Scott, well, just really showing his class, isn't he? Look at the gap. If you look at the map in the top right, you can see Scott is the little red triangle, and the nearest to him, Grasshopper, is way back here. So as Scott goes around turn 6, Grasshopper just coming around turn 5 and starting up the hill. Wayne G just tucked in behind Grasshopper, picking up a bit of dirt there. That's going to cost him a little bit of time, but he's still within touching distance of Grasshopper, so he's going to hang in there. Brownie still holding on to 4th from Hodgie. Hodgie making up a bit of ground on Brownie as they come up to the corkscrew, keeping it nice and clean. It's very easy to lose control at the bottom of that hill. If you go too far to the left, the car will spin as you hit the bottom, but these guys making it look easy. Bloomfield in P6, Hoggy in P7. They've calmed down just a little bit, maybe having a bit of a breather, trying to preserve the tyres and the fuel just before they go at it again, but these two pretty inseparable for this race. Then we've got Sideways in 8th, Rufus. Oh, Rufus went very wide. Let's just have a look, make sure that he didn't get help going around that turn 11. So you can see, I think it's Slowpoke just coming up towards Rufus. No, definitely no contact. Rufus just a little bit late on the brakes, which sent him very deep into turn 11 onto the kitty litter, and he's lost a place to Slowpoke. So Slowpoke now moves up into P9, just behind his teammate Sideways George. So once again, the two Haribo teammates are one behind the other. Rufus down to 10th, Seamus in 11th. So he made up a couple of spots after his coming off early doors, albeit with the help of both Stealth and Grahamid. Oh, and Flat B must have come off as well. And again, let's just have a look and see if we can find what happened to Flat B. Oh, have to go back too far. So Flat B down to 12th, then Stealth in 13th and Grahamid in 14th. So Seamus Cash made up a few spaces and up to 11th. So let's just go mid-pack and see what's happening. Hoggy in 7th, still chasing Bloomfield. We are on lap 14 of 19 of this first sprint race here at Laguna Seca in California. Now race 2, there will be a scheduled stop. You've got to change tyres. It's mediums and hards. I couldn't even remember. Like I said, I raced in this the other day and I can't even remember the tyres. So yeah, we will have to stop in race 2. It is mediums and hard tyres, so a bit of tactics being kicked in as well for race 2. But in the meantime, we've still got 4 laps to go. Well, 5 laps if you include this one, as Hoggy tries desperately to get that P6 away from Bloomfield again. Sideways in 8th, Slowpoke 9th, Rufus 10th, Seamus 11th, then Flat B, Stealth and Grahamid. No real battles taking place. It's pointless looking at Scott. He's that far in front. There is nobody around him. He may even think that they've all gone home, left him to it. He wouldn't know, would he? Not seen another car for the last, 9 laps. He's that far in front. I think he only knows there's other cars on the track because of his race director telling him. But he is all on his own out there. Grasshopper in 2nd, Wayne G in 3rd. Bit of a gap opened up between those two as well now, so Wayne G just dropping off the pace a little bit. Or is it Grasshopper picking it up? No, they're both in around the 24s, so not much separating them, but at the minute there is a gap. So Wayne G probably thinking, well, he's happy with 3rd. Just has to keep it on the track because there's a decent gap then back to Brownie sitting in 4th, Hodgie in 5th, then Bloomfield, Hoggy sideways, Slowpoke. Now then, we did put a different decal on the car. I'm not sure if you can see it there. We just about see it on the back window. RIP Poppy, and that's in memory of Poppy, the EAC and URL mascot that unfortunately passed away towards the end of the week. So that's what that is there for. Seamus in 10th. Let's see if we can find who's battling away. Nobody's really battling away, are they? It's all very nice at the minute, and we're all just slotted in behind each other and having a nice day out. The nearest battle we've got is Bloomfield and Hoggy. Bloomfield holding on to P6, Hoggy in 7th. Desperately trying to get close enough. He needs to get closer and get a good exit out of turn 11, does Hoggy, so that he can get into the slipstream of Bloomfield. That's when you're going to be looking at making the move. As you go through turn 1, just as you pass through turn 1, you should be close enough to get the move done before hitting turn 2, and that's exactly what Hoggy wants to do. So let's jump on board. We've gone through turn 1. He's not close enough now. He's not going to be making a move on Bloomfield at this point or on this lap. Although if Bloomfield keeps making mistakes like that, then that is going to allow Hoggy to get even closer to him. A quick look behind us, and sideways is a long way off. So it is just these two battle away. Excuse me. As we head towards turn 4, trying to keep it nice and tight to that inside apex, so you can get the power down really early. Then we come into turn 6. Oh, Bloomfield's gone wide, and Hoggy had a bit of a look, didn't he? I'm not sure if there was contact there, but they are both still racing, so we'll stay as we are. We're not going to go back and have a look at that. Through the kink in the road, heading up towards the corkscrew at turn 7 and 8. Now Hoggy just has to back out, and a very sensible thing to do as well. It is not the place to be making a brave move at the top of the corkscrew. that can ruin both races. So a very sensible decision there from Hoggy. Now he just needs to get a good exit out of turn 11. He could really do with Bloomfield messing this one up, but it doesn't look like he's going to, does it? And we are back where we were at the start of the lap. So Hoggy really being frustrated by Bloomfield at the minute. Hodgie still sitting in 5th behind Brownie. It's been a good race for Hodgie. I'm sure he'll be pleased with this. Brownie sitting in 4th as well. He'll be pleased with that. Never going to catch the 3 guys in front of him now. And, well, you can just see how far Scott is in front. Judging by this performance today, he's definitely in the wrong league. So we are on lap 18 of 19 as Hodgie desperately tries to catch up to the back of Brownie, but I just don't think he's going to get it done. I think he's going to run out of laps unless Brownie makes a mistake. Bloomfield and Hoggy still going at it into the corkscrew. Again, Bloomfield just managing to hold on to P6, and it looks like this could be it for the rest of this race. We shall see. It's only a mistake really now going to cost a place, because Hoggy is just not close enough to make a move on Bloomfield. Sideways he's going to be sitting in 8th and looking comfortable at the minute. He's got his teammate behind him holding up Seamus Cash, so Slowpoke in 9th, just holding Seamus up. So Sideways George should be safe for P8. Seamus though tucked right up underneath Slowpoke's rear wing as they come down the hill towards turn 2. Slowpoke just ahead of Seamus, trying to hold on to P9 at the minute. Seamus will do everything he can to get by, and it looks like they're actually catching up to the back of Sideways. Now then, I'm going to have to go back up and although these guys have only just started the lap, if we look at Scott, he's coming around the final turn at turn 11. So he's finished. He's going to be finished. Pull into the pits, have a cup of tea, get his feet up. Well done to him. What a fantastic win for Scott. He'll be halfway through his tea and sandwiches before the guys at the back finish. Grasshopper, it looks like he's going to be finishing in P2. Wayne Dick G doing everything he can to push him to the line, but Grasshopper gets a decent exit out of turn 11. Wayne G can only follow him across the line, so well done to those 2 guys. So that's your top 3. Brownie, good racing for Brownie to get across the line in P4. Hodgie will finish in P5, a good race from Hodgie. Bloomfield comes across the line in 6, just followed very closely by Hoggy. Seamus Cash has managed to, well, let's just go back and have a look, because Seamus Cash was actually behind. Have I gone too far? No. Seamus Cash was behind both Slowpoke and Sideways George, so as we're coming through turn 6, let's have a look and see what's happened. Seamus Cash got a fantastic exit out of turn 6 and got the run on Slowpoke up the hill. So up into 9th goes Seamus Cash. Into the corkscrew they go, and Sideways George just up ahead of him. So Seamus Cash, at the minute you would say Sideways George has got P8 wrapped up. As Seamus Cash tries to chase him down, the gap just doesn't look there, but Sideways George went very wide, and Seamus Cash up the inside into turn 11. Fantastic racing from Seamus Cash, a good recovery as well, considering he went off the track very early on. So Seamus in 8th, Sideways 9th, Slowpoke 10th, Flat B across the line in 11th. Mohammed around the final turn. We'll want to get this race over and done with. Finishing in 12th. Rufus will take 13th, with Stealth coming in 14th. So a relatively easy win for Scott then, followed by Grasshopper and Wayne G. Join me very, very shortly when we come back for race 2, when the tactics will have to kick in because there will be a pit stop. So I shall catch you all soon.